Hello everyone, welcome to week 1 of Terraria Master Mode Permadeath Run. Basically, what this is I'm going to be playing through the entirety of Terraria Master Mode with 1 life. If you don't know what Master Mode is, it's pretty much Terraria Expert Mode, which makes the enemies harder, and there's some AI changes and that sort of stuff. Master Mode, to my knowledge, just makes it harder. The enemies do more damage, they hit harder, or yeah, same thing. They got more health, that sort of thing. And I'm deciding to do this in 1 life. Now, one thing I want you guys to keep in mind is that this is my first time ever playing through 1.4. And yeah, I realize it's probably a terrible idea for my first playthrough to be in hardcore. But we're doing it anyway. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I don't know how long we're gonna last. The permadeath is done as soon as we beat the Moon Lord. I'll consider it a victory. But anyway, talking about the game here, I'm building a house right now because in hardcore, building a house as soon as possible is extremely important. And I didn't do that. I took my sweet old time doing it because I actually went to the snow biome to get some armor and weapons and frostburn arrows and that sort of stuff. Should actually talk about that. So my plan for this is to go as a ranger. So I use bows and guns and that sort of stuff. That doesn't mean I can only use those. I can use whatever weapon I want, but I'm gonna mainly be a ranger because mainly just so I can keep my distance from enemies, which will hopefully increase my survivability. So that's really the plan, is to just keep my distance from stuff. Here, I actually happened to get an enchanted sword from the shrine, which was very unexpected. But I also don't use it all that often. I got it, and I use it a little bit, but I don't use it as much as you think. Because again, I have to get close to enemies, and I want to keep my distance. And I think that's gonna be our key to success, is keeping my distance from stuff. Another thing I want to do for this playthrough is fish. Do a lot of fishing, because fishing is extremely useful, which is what I'm doing right now, is setting up a little fishing hut. And I got a dolphin party going on apparently. So it is quite useful. I also do some fishing in the Crimson because my plan is I don't want to go underground for a while. Because everything is going to kill me, so I decide to go hang out in the Crimson and do some fishing to get a Crimson Crate, to get the Undertaker, to get the Arms Dealer, to buy a Mini Shark, and yeah. I also do some fishing in the ocean to get the Reaver Shark, which I did get. I did manage to get the Reaver Shark, and the reason for the Reaver Shark is it used to be a huge skip. It used to be able to... You could then go to the underworld and mine Hellstone, but you can't do that anymore. But it's still a decent pickaxe. So anyway, so I got my pickaxe sorted. I was feeling pretty confident with my weapons and armor situation, so I decided to go to the Underground Crimson with no potions. Best idea I've ever had, because I wanted to go get the Undertaker. Basically, I was fishing and I couldn't get in. I wasn't getting any Crimson Crates, so I just said, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna go down to the Crimson and just see if I can get a Crimson Orb to get the Undertaker. Because then the Arms Dealer can move in and we can get some stronger weapons, all that good stuff. Which I do manage to get. I guess spoiler alert. But I do manage to get the Crimson Orb relatively easily, if I'm being honest. I also managed to get some life crystals, which are a life crystal, which is quite useful. We do have a marble biome attached to our Crimson, which is both good and bad, because it's good to an extent, because maybe we can do some farming there, but it's also terrible late or early game because most enemies. The thing with Master Mode is most enemies at this point can one-shot us. We have such little defense, and we got decent weapons, but not that great. So we are extremely fragile. Like we can get. There's a lot of creatures that can one-shot us, which is not great. So yeah, here we go. There's also a bunch of Crimson Arts, like all come together, which is really useful. So I got the thing, got the arms dealer move in. And as you see here, I'm killing all my NPCs. So the reason for that is I was planning on buying the mini shark, right? And then I found out if the arms dealer is in a graveyard biome, which is if there's enough gravestones next to each other, it'll create a graveyard biome. If the arms dealer is living in that, he actually sells a shotgun, or a quad barrel shotgun, which I was like, yo, sign me up. It's the same price as the mini shark, and it's a strong early game. Oh, excuse me, strong early game weapon. So I was rushing to buy it, and then as I was doing some fishing in the ocean, a blood moon started. And a blood moon, if I was a little bit more powered up, would have been really good, because I can do some grinding in the blood moon. But I didn't trust myself to be able to fend off the blood moon, so I just ran around in circles all night. But come morning, I set up the graveyard and we buy the quad barrel shotgun. So here's the graveyard. If you leave it for too long, I'm pretty sure ghosts spawn, and as you see, demon eyes can spawn in the morning. But now we got a quad barrel shotgun. I do plan on buying the mini shark at some point, because it is a good weapon, and we also want the star cannon, which is gonna be our main weapon for fighting bosses. Because something you're gonna see is that I don't fight any bosses. And I'm not going to fight any bosses for quite a while, because my plan is to wait until I'm as geared up as I possibly can be before fighting my first boss, which is most likely going to be the Brain of Cthulhu. But anyway, as you saw there, I made some tungsten and silver bullets to give our shotgun just a small bit of a power boost, and I grabbed all my potions to gear up to go cave spelunking. Because I was feeling pretty confident with my new shotgun, so I was like, you know what, let's go do some spelunking, and hopefully, the main goal was to get gold, to make gold armor, but the other one was to get as many life crystals as I possibly could. So as you can see here, I buffed up, did some digging, and I just pretty much just collected, not absolutely everything. I didn't grab any lead or copper or anything like that because I didn't really see a use for it. There was a spider biome that we ran into, which was a little scary because spiders, the wall creepers, can one-shot us. Like, they can one-shot you, or at least close, in normal mode. So being in master mode, I was like, I'm not risking that. So I did a little bit of digging. Here I'm trying to get this life crystal here, so we can get some max health, because I don't want to be fighting a boss until we have max health. But then on my way back, I ran into a spike eye slime, and then I ran into some more wall creepers that had spawned behind me, which was very scary, so I just teleported out of there. Here I'm just doing a little bit of cleanup to organize everything. This first week, I don't do a whole lot. I make some armor as well, from the gear that we collected, but for mainly the first week, I didn't really do all that much in terms of progression, because I don't want to risk anything. And something I did here was I didn't like my house. I really didn't like my house. It was really crappy. I made it in like just a couple of seconds, or minutes rather. I made it just like really quick just to survive the night, and I really didn't like it. So I decided to build a new one. And as you can see here, as I was building it, a goblin army spawned, which was very scary. But it got sketchy. There were a couple times during this goblin army that we almost died. As you can see here, we are like almost no health. So I came up with a small strategy to throw the spiky balls that I collected from the ones I'd killed, and then just kind of hung up there, chucked them down, and they died. We lost a bunch of NPCs, but we did manage to survive, which was, thank God. And then I continued building the house, which I'm actually pretty happy with. I don't really build houses in Terraria, but this one I did build, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. I probably shouldn't have built I probably should have spent so much time building a house in hardcore, because if we die, all this is gone. So we need to really not die now. But yeah, I really like this house. I think it was quaint. I enjoyed it, or enjoy it rather. Next, I head to the jungle, because like I was saying earlier, I got new armor now. I still got my quad barrel shotgun, which is doing wonders, and I'm feeling confident. So I decided, hey, let's go into the jungle. Something I didn't mention, probably should have done that. Something I didn't mention was during our little cave expedition, I ran into a bunch of crimtane, but just enough crimtane to make a tendon bow, which is what I have there. I don't use it all that often, but I do have it. I also found the queen beehive, which I don't see me fighting anytime soon, honestly. But yeah, the jungle, I was mainly just here to look for some more life crystals, because at this point, my armor I was okay with. Getting full gold was just kind of like, if it happens, that's good. But mainly, I just want to get health, because that's the biggest thing, is I need as much survivability as I can get my hands on at this point. And I'm also looking for Moonglow to make some Spelunker potions, because Spelunker potions are going to be very, very useful at any stage of the game, really. So I make a couple of dumb decisions while I'm in the jungle. I get a little late. I get a little, what's the word? Not lazy, but nah, yeah, I guess lazy is not a bad term. Where I get stupid and I stop being as careful, and then it almost gets me killed. I found another hive, so we have two hives pretty close together, which is good. The queen bee can give you some really good weapons, which we'll definitely be fighting the queen bee for said weapons. Mainly the bee's knees. That'll be very, very good. And maybe the beekeeper, but I mean, really all the weapons the queen bee drops is really, really good. Here I actually find the jungle temple, which was very unexpected, but I found it. So we now know where that is, which when it comes to hard mode, when we get to Golem eventually, it'll be good to know where that is, so we don't have to go running all over the place looking for it. Here I get back, I sell some stuff, just kind of some maintenance. We found the bound goblin, and I combine some accessories. I get the lightning boots made. And then from here, the last thing I do for the week is, like I said earlier, I didn't do a whole lot. The last thing I did for the week was build a sky bridge, which for some reason I guess I didn't show here. And that concludes week 1. I'm in the world here, so you can see the house not all sped up and everything. So week 1 was pretty successful, because, well, we're still alive, which is a big one. Obviously, I mean, I know I could have probably done more. I didn't fight any bosses. My armor could maybe be better. But overall, not too bad. Next week, we're definitely going to be doing a little bit more. I'm going to try and be a little braver, but not stupid. So really quick, one thing I want to do at the end of each week is go through my loadout. So at the end of week 1, my weapons, I have a quad barrel shotgun, a demonic tendon bow, and an enchanted sword, as well as some spiky balls. I also have, for my tools, I have a reaver shark and a sawtooth shark. Very, very nice. For my armor and accessories, I got a tungsten helmet, tungsten greaves, and a gold chainmail. I don't get the set bonus because I don't have tungsten. I don't have a tungsten chest piece, but I get more defense overall. And getting full gold doesn't seem like worth it at this point, I guess. I have 300 health. Didn't quite get the max health, but next week we definitely will be. I have climbing claws, guide to plant fiber cordage, lightning boots, blizzard in a bottle, and brisk feral claws. And that is my loadout. I will quickly show. Oh, I also have a ruby hook. I didn't mention that, but I got a ruby hook here. I also built the sky bridge, which for some reason I didn't show, but I'll show it here now in the outro. This is the sky bridge. The sky bridge is just for finding, or for gathering rather, fallen stars. So each night fallen stars will land on here, and it'll be much easier to grab, because when we have, could have died there, honestly. That would have been funny. To gather fallen stars each night. So yeah, overall I think week 1 was pretty successful. Obviously, we could be doing better. We could be farther along. We could be beating the game by now. I'm sure someone would have done it. But for my first playthrough through 1.4, we're not doing too bad. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me any feedback or tips. It's all greatly appreciated. This is purely experimental. I've never done something like this before. But I wanted to do something Terraria related on the channel. And while 1.4 is still relatively fresh, it did come out in May. And this video is going up in July. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, give me any feedback, tips, whatever. It is greatly appreciated. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.